Get started. All right, we've got 5 o'clock. We know Joel is on his way and Elise is gonna be here any minute. So we're gonna just get started since we have a few things on there. We're gonna go ahead and get started with our work session. Work sessions are an opportunity for the board members to discuss issues informally with the staff and invited guests. Board encourages members of the public to attend work sessions and listen to the discussion, but there's generally no opportunity for public comment. Members of the public wishing to address the board are welcome to do so during the board's regularly scheduled monthly meetings. And we will have that opportunity here in just a bit. We'll go ahead and roll into our topics. We've got events and rolling calendar. Let you go through that.
I just would add one couple notes. Gail's on the call. Didn't necessarily have a spot in the agenda for her, but I did have a spot under the manager's report where I was going to update you all on the plans for the strategic plan. So she'll jump in on that. And then Bill Hampton is the gentleman that's interested in doing the demolition derby. He's going to log in and talk during public comment.
Okay.
Talk to you guys about what his plans are. Regarding the event calendar, you have an updated version that's loose. The version that's in the packet is the one for October. But events this month, we had Clash of the Cowboys on Saturday. That went pretty well. We're going to spend some time talking about that. There's the food drive will start storing stuff this month. There's some 4-H shows, banquet, which you guys were all invited to. I sent you all that link, so you can go in there and RSVP to that if you intend to participate. I don't know if you had a deadline for that. I don't remember what it was.
They just sent an email just today, so I think you're okay. Next meeting.
There'll be another cat show that'll happen in here like we did earlier in the year. Was that this year? And then over Thanksgiving weekend is that flat track race again in the arena. That's the big stuff for this month. I did talk to you all about me wanting to go to the International Affairs Convention. I'm still planning to do that. I haven't registered or fully 100% committed, but I'd like to plan on it at this time. But if something changes, I'll reach out to you all and then we can hold the meeting at the regular date. I will make that decision this week and get back to you guys for sure. We will touch on the strategic plan schedule a little bit more and update this calendar for the things where the board will be involved in. But planning on our January meeting, focusing on some of the items that we need to talk about with the board. And again, we'll get into that later when we talk about the strategic plan. Next Wednesday is the interviews for the fair board applicants with the county. So if any of you all want to participate in that as well, let me know and I'll let the county know that I want to participate on the panelist side. I realize 4 of you are applicants, so that I'm not sure how that would work out, but if you're interested, let me know. And then they'll appoint those members on the 10th of December.
Okay. All right, we're gonna roll into the Bulls and Bronx recap.
Yeah. I can start off just with some numbers, some preliminary numbers. And granted, these are preliminary. There's still a few things that need to be up here. Could be like the hotels. I need to get their final invoice form. I have this 2K plugged in. That's should be pretty close. It'll probably come in a little under. A number that I won't know until I do the timesheets is how much overtime between the staff that they had for that date. But and we don't know what the alcohol revenue was yet. But with the way it stands right now, our expenses were $47,935 and our revenues were $55,948. So that's a profit of $8,000. Last year we profited about $5K in alcohol, so you can figure about $5,000 on top of that for $13,000. Last year, we had about 20K profit, but we also had 1,800 tickets we sold last year. This year, we sold 1146. So last year it was like $33,000 in ticket sales. This year we had $22,000 in ticket sales. So that's pretty much the difference in the.
What was our difference in sponsorships though? Because I thought I had about 10,000 more in sponsorships.
I don't have that number off the top of my head. I do know that Howell Rodeos costs were more this year than they were last year.
Okay. What do you have? I can't see
I think
at all.
I guess.
What's under sponsorships?
32,800.
Okay. Yeah, last year I thought was like 22,000.
It's in that report.
Let's see.
One that I have.
No, because I only have a copy this year. I can pass it around. Last year was $21,050. This year was 32,800. The other thing that may not have, there may have been some of these
That's not-
costs that weren't captured in our report last year. When I did this expenses side.
Yeah, that's not adding up. So,
Like I know we didn't have the buckles in there last year. I don't think, I'm not sure what.
well, the
other
buckles
prizes-
isn't, should, I mean,
it's, if we're counting sponsorship revenue here, then. The
yeah,
expense revenue balances by putting it up there.
right.
So I mean, if we're talking 13,000, that was still a successful event considering we had 600 less people buy tickets for the show. I think it was way more comfortable.
Yeah, that's just like that's a pretty drastic difference in income when we had $10,000 more in sponsorships.
Yeah,
You know what I
again,
mean?
this is really preliminary numbers. Once we get some of this dialed in a little bit more, I'll bring you another report with the comparison between the 2 years.
Okay. Glad I got that 10 extra $1,000 in sponsorships.
Yeah. Yeah, we added the clown. I'm trying to, I'd have to look through here about what else. We paid more for the mechanical bowl.
I imagine the alcohol sales will be less, the numbers are less and they're, I
Yeah,
didn't see the.
so yeah, that's the preliminary. That's again. One day after the event, basically, and we'll get you some more detailed stuff once we have a little bit more time. We did have basically 21 booths filled. So it was 14 vendors, but several of them had 2 or 3 booths. But they paid per 10 by 10, so 21 10 by 10 spaces, and we had 4 food vendors. Yeah, I didn't hear any complaints about handicap or overcrowded. I don't think, or parking, I don't think I really heard any complaints at all through the whole evening, so I think.
I had one specific message that I wanted to share. And it was, great job with the rodeo together, sorry. Great job with the rodeo. Everyone had only nice things to say, and while exiting, we couldn't stop talking about it. Oh, nope, sorry, that was last year's comment. Excuse me. This is this year's comment. That was the last time she messaged me, actually. That's interesting. She said, great job last night and thank you for all the handicap parking. It was a pleasant surprise. We had a great time. Thank you and the board. So that was nice. It was recognized that there was plenty of parking accommodating others, and so that was good.
We haven't done any surveys or anything yet, but I think reaching out to all the vendors, but one vendor did send us a message and said, I wanted to say thank you for having myself and my friend Susan as vendors last week. Had much fun. Absolutely love the event. We'd love to return to future events at the fairgrounds. We'll be on the lookout for those. After party was great. Definitely helped our sales. Just wanted to give some insight and suggestions for next time. I would suggest making the after party 18 plus or 21 plus. Many adults expressed their feelings to me while checking out, saying they wish there were no kids. This saw many folks walking the doors and mouthing, "Oh, there's a bunch of kids. Let's just go." Or "There's kids. I'm good," and turned and left. I've attended other rodeos where they've had a family rodeo but done an after party strictly for adults and draws a bigger crowd. Thanks again. Looking forward to future events. So again, we haven't requested any surveys from anybody else, but they felt like they wanted to say that.
Yeah, I think the, like traffic wise, having the I will say, I don't think that, I mean, me specifically, I don't think I pushed the, pre-agenda, like pre-thing more. I do think that that was more well attended last year. I do think that there was some burnout in having it right after Halloween as well, so that puts a little damper on things. But I do think the after party will be something we want to continue with. I think it helped with traffic with people leaving and it kind of staged the exits, nicely, so it wasn't just one big group trying to leave.
There were some additional sales, so that was
Yeah.
good for the vendors. One of the other, I don't know if the Halloween thing affected us or not. That was a brief conversation I had with Dusty as well. And at some point we'll want to talk to him about what dates he could do next year.
I think we need to like talk sooner than later. I did text him and ask him to maybe look at the 7th of November, so I don't know if that's something we want to try to make happen, but.
But one of the other things that I don't know how we would know one way or the other, but just knowing a lot of our ticket sales happened in the last week and with all of the issues around SNAP and EBT pricing.
Yeah.
If there was people that were just trying to make that decision, like, are we
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
go to the rodeo or are we
Yeah.
going to have money in our pockets to buy food over the next month? So that
Yeah.
could have had an impact. I don't know how we can say it
I
or
think
be
it
it one
would.
way or another, but it's
Yeah.
something under to consider.
Definitely.
I did have one comment from one of the vendors. He suggested that having the after party, everything in the middle, have the vendors all around the edges that way. Because the after party was on one side, it was way over there. Who's the rock guy over there? And I've known him for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a suggestion he had to put the vendors around and everything over, public stuff in the middle.
Yeah.
It's just a comment.
Oh, okay.
The ticket. Is that the only ticketing company that we can use? Cause that's twice now that we've had so much trouble, and I don't know if it's our internet
Yeah.
or what it is, like, I was talking to Brittany about it and. She was thinking maybe it's because everyone's trying to download their tickets on the internet and we don't change the passwords and spare.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's a better solution.
Let's say with the fair concert, it may have been an internet issue. We should have set all that stuff up the day in advance at the fair. I think the issue here at this particular event was just that their typical lead people, it's the week that they do their company retreat. And so like all of their top level tech support folks were all out of the country on this company trip. So they were supposed to send the stuff all pre-ready in advance and they had offered to send the stuff in advance, but we had a conversation with them, was really just at the convention said, if your staff is coming, they can just bring it and then we don't have to ship it. But in hindsight, we probably should have them ship it and then we can get it ready the day in advance and not be scrambling at 4 o'clock trying to get this thing dialed in. They're not the only ticketing company, but we did do an RFP for it and it was one of the better deals regarding ticketing fees and really the support. I mean, every ticketing company is gonna have
Oh, I'm sure.
some issues. But that we package with them with our security as well is really a deal that security company is also giving the ticketing piece. But I can definitely give them some feedback like, hey, this is twice in a row that we've scrambled with some technology issues that we gotta get this straightened out. And I will talk with IT about our internet in the lobby. It doesn't make sense to me why the internet's so poor when there's a designated access point in there, but maybe it's a really old piece of equipment that needs to be replaced with something more modern.
I did have to tell a lot of people to go outside to try and get their tickets on, like a good chunk of people out
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah, your cell service will not work in there at all, but we have wireless in there. Our Wi-Fi should have been working.
They just try to reset it.
And does our guest one not work and just our vendor one?
They both work. Yeah, they both come out of the same devices. They're both broadcast out of, with several in here, but they broadcast both of the networks out of the same thing. So if one's working, the other one should be working.
Okay.
It's just one of them is throttled. The guest one is
Yeah.
throttled so that any particular connection can take up less bandwidth.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All in all, I think it went good. We made money
Yeah. We didn't-
again.
We didn't lose money, that's for sure. And I think people had a great time and it was a good event that showcases our facility.
I've touched base with a lot of the sponsors and, most of them want to be sponsors again. Our top sponsor, is like, I get that, right?
Yeah.
And, a few other people want to be. So I've talked to, some of the people with, Howell Rodeo Company, and I'm gonna meet up with him a lot more in advance, and we're gonna team up and get some different ideas for sponsorships. So make it a little bit different and kind of get some more in there. 33,000 is not too freaking bad though, so.
On the sponsor topic, I know that they were trying to figure out if they could come in ahead of time or whatever, or get scanned ahead of time. We kind of talked about, is there an opportunity to have like a backdoor access for them where they don't have to like wait in front of people or around people? That would just, we don't have to decide. But, you know, give them that opportunity if they wanted to get in early without looking like they're getting in early.
So the hard part is with that show, we can't get in early because they're still setting up all the pyro stuff. And it's, I mean, like up against like that time frame of making it happen. So that's why we probably wouldn't be able to do that.
Or potentially even just hold off like 10 minutes for, you know, 10 minutes earlier. But
Yeah.
But a different door, so it's like super obvious
Yeah.
that certain people are being treated differently. Not that it doesn't make sense, but you know, those of us that are trying to hold back the line, like. Anyway, a lot of them were asking, can we get in now? Can we, you know, whatever. So just to make them feel even more special I mean, even though it's backdoor, but I think they might prefer that instead of trying to come in with the gang.
I think it's worthwhile. I think also like getting the ticketing piece done, and then as people are showing up for the pre-show, we're just feeling their hand stamps and getting them hand stamped in. And then when we go to enter, we have like a re-entry line, hand stamp line, and we have the I need my ticket scanned line. And set that up a little bit better. I think there was some confusion with the folks that were in the line, didn't necessarily realize they could come in and
Yeah.
see all of this stuff. They were just getting straight into that line at 5, you know, and so that was only an hour into our pre-show. So that's something to think about how we could implement that a little bit differently.
No, I had a lot of
Yeah.
people when I was out there scanning, being like, can we go in? Do we have to wait in the line? Like, what's the deal with it?
Yeah, even if we open those end doors and then just fed them through there would be helpful. Awesome.
Yeah, as far as having a special door, I mean, it's something we could do if we have a volunteer or board member manning it. If we had to pay as security for another person, there's just be another thing when we have a tight budget.
And I will say, so before we move on to the next thing, I know we have OSET coming in. And I just want to give it, I know they're not here, but I just want everyone to know that like quite a few of them were here and they cleaned up the bleachers, and I feel like took a load off of our group in having to do that. I don't know if Kyle, Kristen, if you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have to pick up any trash, so.
Yeah, so-
I haven't seen how much there's still in there, but it was helpful, yes.
So just a heads up,
I
but
was wondering where all those kids were coming from, you know, getting the cans and
There was quite a
cleaning it
few.
all up.
yeah.
That's very good.
Yep, so that was the OSET group. They all paid for tickets. That was not we didn't give them tickets to clean. They bought their tickets, they came in and they cleaned after the rodeo, so.
They were on it, they were smiling, they were
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah.
So yeah. I
It was awesome.
appreciated them.
It was very, very nice, so. All right, we will move on, if no one has anything else on that, over to the convention recap.
Yeah, I mean, I think the convention went really well. I was just curious about any input or feedback that you guys had, or that you wanted to discuss any of the takeaways that you took. Board.
I think Abby and I both, I'm gonna speak and then you can go after, but, we had a really good conversation, I feel like, with Tillamook. You know, we only went on Thursday, I didn't get an opportunity to go to all the things. Just networking with a few different people and kind of picking their brain, on some things I think was super helpful and eye-opening. And, you know, those hard things where you don't know, you know, what's the right thing to do and how to kind of convey it. It's kind of nice to take it from someone that's already had to deal with it.
Yeah, no, I second that. It was, when we talked to her, that was really helpful and really, they gave me a lot to think about on how they do things, and the couple sessions I went to, it was nice just to get kind of reminders on stuff that I knew, but haven't really thought about on different things, but yeah, definitely talking to that lady was the highlight. Or not that lady, I guess, she was, yeah, right, just.
You know, I know you guys were only there on Thursday, and I did feel like, and this was some feedback I gave the team, like, it didn't feel like there was ever like a real grand opening. Like opening session where if they would have been able to have everybody in, nothing else is happening, everybody's in there, welcome to the convention, lay out what the weekend's gonna look like. So there's some stuff that the convention team is looking to adjust. But it'll be at the same place next year. The conversation on where it goes after that, we don't know, but at least next year, it will be very accessible to us again, being in Washington. I mean, it was in Redmond last 2 years before that, and that's harder to get away for a day. So, yeah, any other?
Yeah, I was talking to Andrew, because we were thinking maybe he could come in sometime to a board meeting, and we could have, you know, included him in this one. I should have thought about that proactively. But yeah, there was quite a number of sessions, for sure. I learned a lot, did some great networking. And some, you know, some really good takeaways, which I think we can kind of feed into as we continue to evolve how we operate. One of them was, you know, having a different structure, for example, having someone who on the board offers to take a first pass on the financials, right? Kind of own that, while you gave your presentation, have a representative to the board, talk about what they absorbed from reviewing the financials. Or, you know, like we have this policy that we've been bouncing around for a while, have someone on the board offer to take, you know, the board's perspective or take a perspective from the board. And then not that they're in any way more of a decision maker, but it could accelerate how we get through some of the work that we do. As well as I remember the first time then the financials were presented, it wasn't probably as easy to absorb. And so if someone, you know, partners with you and actually works through it, you get a perspective of how a board member would interpret it, so that it could be adjusted and be a little clearer. That's just a couple examples of, you know, just having people volunteer for some of those items, so that for each board meeting, there will be an element that everyone has a bit more ownership of on the board.
I feel like that was something Tammy kind of mentioned, was that they have different board members kind of head different aspects of things that are kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
That's something they do.
Yeah, I don't know, I mean, there was a lot of things, that one was probably the one that I think that fairly easy to implement, and I think it'll make this more effective, and then you'll have, you know, a strong partnership with each board member on a specific item.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Some focused attention on particular things,
Pardon?
some focused attention on
Yeah.
those particular
Right.
pieces.
I spent a lot of time on sponsorship with Kathy Kramer. And I've got some information on putting together for the board for the next meeting on sponsorships. And also went to a security meeting on Saturday. And this guy comes from the big fairs down in Los Angeles, the Orange County Fair, and the one in Pomona. And some of the things we should be looking out for and making sure that how we can protect ourselves if there's an emergency, and how do we have, you know, does everybody have communication with everybody to, you know, for real response? So I have information on that, and I'll put it all together for the next meeting.
I know, for me, it was great to have you guys all participate and, you know, kind of get a different perspective of the fair industry. But for me personally, it's like that switch of last fair's over, we had some time, we were working on stuff, we're time to dive into planning next year's fair. So I did put a conversation on a fair theme as kind of a starting point. We'll want to have a conversation about fair committees and getting some of those rolling, working on getting this entertainment dialed in, and then, because that really leads to all of the scheduling and marketing and advertising and really the sponsorship. We got to know what we're looking for sponsorships for. So trying to get those committees rolling here before the end of the year. We'll need to revise our vendor handbook and get that pushed out with the change of our date, making sure that that's out in front of these vendors and make sure that either if they can't make it with our new date or new vendors that will be able to make it now that our dates changed, because they're gonna be finding their route in here coming up quickly, but
Well,
I thought it was
before we
great.
dive into, I know we're not doing that today.
Yeah.
But before we start kicking off the committees, I think it'd be good if we had a retrospective on how that all went last year. And figure out, instead of, are we gonna do it the same way, or are we gonna do it differently? As far as how people, I know initially we like, sign up for a committee, and then it was reshuffled for different reasons. So I think if we reflect on that, it might help us give some momentum a little quicker.
yes.
And another thing is, because we have a carnival next year, the fair thing should include something about a carnival.
That's what I have. So I have a particular item just for that, and that's really the only input I put in the item.
I have a list of them.
So,
One things.
yeah. Um. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any final thoughts on convention?
I thought it was-
All right, we'll go on to the reduced fees policy.
Yeah, and as I alluded to in one of my updates to you guys, I did put the draft that we had at the last meeting, but it occurred to me that we might be overthinking it some. I think if we just simply put all users will pay the listed fees, and then say the fairgrounds has opportunities for volunteering where we can make donations to your group and you can use those to pay your fees. It just kind of puts the extra work on them to make sure that they're committing and following through and getting that done. So if you guys are supportive of that, I can rewrite the policy to look like that and bring it back to you all.
I would like that.
I like that.
I like it, idea.
Too much words, is too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sound dumb, but
No,
what I mean
agree.
is if you have too much verbiage, then you're gonna have an opportunity to have.
There's a
people
lot of loopholes.
Yeah,
All right,
big holes
we're
into
trying
it.
to build this system into the policy.
Those
and
are
then
more argumentative.
It's really to make it more convenient for them. When we just say there's opportunities. And then it's on them to commit and follow through on those opportunities to get those dollars.
We don't need somebody to own this policy.
What's that?
I said we were talking about for example, getting this through, we already got that, check,
Yeah,
nice.
so we should be able to opt that out quickly. And next week, next Wednesday, we have a meeting set to just talk about the fee pricing.
So what day is that on?
Wednesdays,
Next Wednesday.
because Tuesday is a holiday.
But isn't
Or,
that,
well, is it the commissioners?
isn't that? the-
Oh, you're right,
That
it
is the
is.
same night. You're
Yeah,
right.
I had it in my.
Oh,
phone, I was
man.
Really confused.
Okay, well, we need to find a different date. That is a
After
good
the
point.
15th, I'll be gone to the end of the month.
We could do it,
What was that?
After the 15th.
After the 15th, I'll be gone to the end of the month.
I'm out, the 13th through that whole next week, while I'm traveling for work. Yeah. So we can do it, you can do it Monday.
You guys tell me what works for you and I'll make it work.
So Tuesday's the holiday, not Monday.
Tuesday's the holiday. but
Monday is the
Tuesday.
holiday for school. Tuesday, I don't say.
I may not do it on the whole virtual.
I thought it was
Oh, I don't know, can we do it on a holiday or is it?
Monday would be okay.
Is a holiday restricted?
No, not necessarily. I mean, it would be working on the holiday, but. Oh,
Sorry, I didn't realize.
If-
Yeah.
if that's what you all would like to do, then. I think I do have another meeting. For something separate from the fairgrounds. At.
I have on my calendar for the school, no school Monday, the 11th, which is says that.
The 11th is Tuesday.
Yeah. Tuesdays.
Yeah. Tuesday's oral, but. Oh, yeah.
Must be last year.
It probably is.
Yeah, because that's a. And we're close that.
Yeah.
It's close.
I believe I have a meeting at 5 o'clock
On what day?
on Tuesday.
I can do either day, Monday or.
It's not a fair meeting, but yeah, it's separate meeting. You guys tell me though, I mean, that Tuesday, if we could do it earlier in the day.
Wednesday would be not good for me.
Again, the county board meeting with the interviews for the applicants is on Wednesday.
Are you gonna be there? Okay, is that what's not working then?
I didn't remember what it was. I just have a red thing.
Okay, can everyone do Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay, Tuesday, let's do Tuesday, and is earlier in the day a problem for anyone?
What do you call it earlier?
Like,
Would you like 3:30 or 4?
Yeah, that'll work for me.
okay, let's do Tuesday at 4.
Okay. Sounds good. And then, yeah,
Is
the,
that Zoom or is that in person?
in person.
I mean, with the option, if you need.
I will send you guys all that template that I built again, and I will send you our current fees and stuff and
Okay.
a memo for that meeting.
Sorry, Kyle, you could volunteer like us that day.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, so we're good on that one then, we've got that figured out, so we can go to the 2026 concert.
Yeah,
That
so
where we're
I
at?
reprinted those lists, you know, we have an offer into Cameron Marlowe. We had said. We didn't know how well Chase would do, but you know, we'll get through Cameron first, he said. What's his name, Hauser, Randy Hauser? Is that it? He said it was unlikely because he's playing in September, but we haven't gotten that far. But we won't be meeting again until December, so if we wanted to have some backup names that you decide on tonight, if we get to that point. Or we could potentially have some names
Could we
you guys
have-
do on Tuesdays.
So we went through the top 3,
Yeah,
so it doesn't seem like we need to. Come up with more for the list, right? Because there was already
Was Cameron,
irons on the list after the top 3.
the cheaper
I-
guy?
yeah, and I don't recall what they were.
Does he have a routing list for anybody that's been routing tentatively?
I can
I mean,
ask
I know he thinks that Chase won't sell well, however,
Chase Rise?
no, however. He's almost half the cost.
Right.
We have sponsorships that are. I would say pretty well set that they're gonna sponsor no matter what type of situation, right? That's
Yeah.
going to cover a majority of that cost. And so. Then you have the people who, we've got a concert at the fair, they're gonna come no matter what. So I don't think it's going to be a
Won't be like Sawyer.
bummer. I don't think it's gonna be an issue. I have heartburn over making sure we make money with Cameron. That, I mean, if we do get him, people are gonna have to
They're really.
It's
put the
gonna
pedal to
be
the
a
metal on
break even
sponsorships.
or, yeah.
So, there's those two factors, so. That's just something to think about.
And I should have pulled up that list from the email with Eric. I have the list that he sent in.
And is there any way that he can fix this?
Yeah, this is like,
This isn't
it's
the
exported incorrectly.
way, that you
Terrible.
can't fix this.
He
was our
had made a
first-
comment about it at the convention. He was like, yeah, I don't know what happened with our list this year.
Randy Hauser. Right.
Which again, he'll be a party, but 75,000, I hope everyone's ready to put their sponsorship pants on and. It's a month.
Who's the best? Cameron Marlowe.
So again, Kyle, I don't think we have to revisit who's gonna add to the list. Did you have that document? Well, the meeting was recorded, so. Could also pull that up.
Yeah.
Do we have, you had their spreadsheet there going about, and that's where you pick the top 3. So there should be another 1 or 2 that are just next on the list, since we already discussed it.
My computer's not cooperating with me right now.
And I mean, if he's got somebody that's gonna be in the area that same, vicinity. And maybe we haven't thought about, maybe that would work too.
Yeah,
Seemed like you
Well, I think that's what, I know, that's what I was just gonna say, and honestly. I know we're concerned about his health, I backed down on our meeting so that there wasn't issues. he will sell. He will sell, sponsorships will come in for him.
But if he doesn't show, we've got a lot of headache.
How many did he back out of so far, or is it just one and everybody's panicking about it?
He backed out of one, and then his next performance after that was not a very good show.
But it's a history, because he's had MS and it's been a recurring theme year after year. That's
So
what
it's
my
mental.
concern is.
But he had
And that was
surgery.
just this August.
I had surgery too, and I still can't see. So, I'm sorry, it's experimental and it's not been proven 100%. Just me.
So I
I think
think,
more than anything, if you guys can be thinking about it, and I'll pull up, my computer's not cooperating. And
Well, we're having a meeting next week, right?
we have a meeting next week, if we could make that a small
Pull that
piece
back
of
up.
our
and we can
conversation.
Get settled on that.
Just get like a two more or something like that option, two more options for him, in case these don't come through. I did call him this morning to try to see if he had any other input, but I got his voicemail and I didn't get a call back, so he must have been busy today. Yeah. I just want you all to continue to be thinking about that, because it's obviously not a done deal till we have a agreed upon artist. If we have something else in on deck, then it will make things go quicker.
okay. Fair theme. You've got on here. I've got a suggestion of neon nights, or like to add to that neon nights and carnival lights, something like that.
I got something similar to that on chat, whatever, I put stuff in there.
Carriers.
Whatever.
I got something similar to, yeah, similar to that.
I had just neon nights, but I think we've always done like roots and boots and like all of like kind of getting a little bit more into it. So if we did neon nights, it's not necessarily like a bar. And carnival lights, it would add to that factor and put that in there. So
I've got like boots, bales and big Ferris wheels. Or barnyard stars and carnival stripes. I don't know, I just,
Throw it out there. Hey, Mallory, on yours, would leading with carnival, so some.
carnival lights and neon nights.
I think
That's a
that we're
tongue
trying to
twister.
emphasize the carnival, that's, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think something, I like those two, just
Yeah.
catchy.
Neon nights and carnival lights, or carnival lights and neon nights. I mean, both work, they both work. I think. It doesn't matter if you put it first or second, it's gonna be an emphasis on it, so. It's just whatever you guys, I mean, or if someone else has something, we can.
GPT was not kind to me today.
What
Gave
were
me all kinds of crazy stuff.
John, what were those again that you said?
Culture is shaped by chat.
whole list of them, just pass them down and everybody can look at them. And these are just things I've kind of played around with today. He's I'm retired now.
I put zero thought into it, besides thinking it should have a carnival theme connected with it.
It was interesting, when we were waiting in line, his mother and daughter were excited to see the carnival sign, was that? And they confused it with a circus.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Don't forget colors too.
Huh.
Colors, he always tells colors too.
Yeah, I would say like neon.
I could see the barn being really bright. next
Oh,
year.
it'll be, yeah. I have a couple screenshots that,
Oh.
before we even thought about doing this, I had actually done. Since I have screenshots of like the neon lights, like with like the, signs on the stalls and stuff.
Oh, you're gonna just see the power bed, all the circuits.
So cute. It's power, there's battery power,
There we go.
but, so even before any of that, this is what I had in mind, so.
Blue ribbons and bright lights is one that Chat GPT came up with. It was
I wrote a lot of things, something about Midway.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
I think of Midway USA.
Midway is the games, like
Yeah.
the knocking over the bottles and the dart off bit.
Carnival.
That's the part that's
driven.
in between the rides and the food. So,
Where you lose a lot of your money.
Yeah.
Probably should use
It was so
Yeah.
long.
Maybe it's because they haven't had a carnival here for so long.
Yeah, I was like.
Like, why I got a chance to see one.
Well,
So
if you
did
guys
any-
wanna just decide on it, then we
Yeah.
can be moving forward.
Yeah.
I think carnival nights and neon lights works, but it's up to you guys.
Under there.
No, I like it.
Okay,
We've never had.
wait,
one.
you said it you said it backwards.
Carnival nights and neon lights.
I have neon nights and carnival lights.
That flows better. Should it be alphabetical or not alphabetical?
Yeah, I know carnival's first, but that's just. Just we thinking carnival.
Well, I'm out
You
now.
guys decide, it's up to you.
Okay, does anyone have a
I
suggestion?
refuse to use ChatGPT. This is your shit.
No, I was really against it, Joel, for like the longest time, till a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I needed to think of something, and I like my whole thing is, but I don't trust it either. It's been very helpful lately. I was against it for a long time. It still freaks me out. It's way too smart, but it can be helpful.
All right, anyone wanna?
I think it's great.
I think it sounds good to me.
Number one is the first one on John Boy, hay bales, high rides and American pride.
What's that?
Hay bales, high rides and American pride.
That's really long.
It is too.
Think about a flyer, right? Like, how are you gonna make a flyer that matches your theme, and how can we incorporate that theme into our advertising and marketing?
That's a good one though, but it's.
You allowed to decide this in a closed session?
No, it's.
I mean, this isn't like a financial decision, right? This is more just like a direction that you guys want to go in. I think as long as you all make the decision as a team that.
I'm fine with it. I don't understand culture anyway, so.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, it's sent ChatGPT. No,
He's original, no.
it's me.
Oh, it's you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't use ChatGPT, thank you. I was going off of neon lights before we even talked about carnival. Cause I already have found like some decorations that were really cute.
And and just so the
First
ones
month
that
out.
don't know is that the bar, the fair, the 4-H and everything, they try to do what the theme is, some of them will do those decorations to match that. You make it really complicated, they won't.
So,
I like it.
okay, is everyone okay with neon nights and carnival lights?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do it.
okay. Done. All right. Fair board applicant.
Yes, so, we had it open for applications all month. 4 terms expiring, had 8 applicants. And the names and their districts are all listed. Their applications are included as well, and again, the interviews will be next week, next Wednesday,
Is
4
it-
positions,
No, is it 5 or 6 o'clock?
5 o'clock.
Yeah, that's not. That's
Yes.
that's-
And of kind of what I'm thinking is that. You know, you guys are seeing them now, they'll be part of a review or watch that meeting or attend. And then at your December meeting, if you guys have some kind of consensus that you'd like to suggest to the county board, then I can take that back to them on Wednesday when they.
How do we do
Wednesday,
that
okay.
with most of the majority of the team? It's.
And I think they probably, I don't know, that is a good question, but I would assume you would recuse yourself from that discussion.
Yeah.
I don't feel that we should do a group discussion. I think that we should individually give you our choices or our thoughts on an
Yeah,
email.
but I can't necessarily share that with the county board unless I mean, I guess I could say that these are what each particular person's
Yeah,
thoughts are.
I mean, it doesn't, like, we don't pick anyways, it's just our thoughts, right?
Yes.
So,
But I think what would be more helpful to the county board is like this is what our needs are. We need somebody that can do this. We need, like, these are what our strengths are that we currently have, and these are the
But you-
needs
but you
that we
have-
need to be filled by a person.
But you have half those
Yeah,
leaving.
and so again, identifying what each of your strengths or significant contributions are to the board. Even if it's to the point of where you're reappointing, they know, okay, if we're not putting this person on, we're gonna have to replace somebody that can do that, or can fit all of these
Okay,
types
so
of
we,
things. I'm not sure if that's something we'd necessarily be prepared for this go around, but it'd
Yeah.
be something that in your bylaws, you could really put that piece together.
so you would be looking at us to not say, these are the people we think would be good fits. You're wanting us to just say, these are the attributes we're thinking would be best.
I think in the long run, that might be more helpful. I mean, if you could. If you could. Find a way to connect those particular. People that you would be suggesting in. Because they fit those. Needs or whatever roles would be kind of the next step to that, but. Like, what are your needs? Where do you need help? Like, if you're all strong in one. Avenue, that doesn't have a very diverse board that can help cover the entire. Operations of our business, so. I think as we get through the strategic plan and we talk about bylaws, like that's something that should be a goal to establish a way that you're. Recruiting the next generation of board members. I know some fairs they'll work on recruiting board members for like a year leading up to. To the new position, but again, in those situations, like they struggle to find even anybody that's willing to step up. So they have to really try to get out in the community to find somebody to get involved. Yep. And this is something that you can bring up again next week if you're participating in it. Like, what does the county board want from us? In selecting these applicants? It'd be a good opportunity to have that input.
Okay,
I don't know. I haven't talked with all of the only one I haven't talked with is Danielle. And I've been playing phone tag and email tag with her. We're trying to get connected for a call tomorrow, basically just to give her the rundown so she has a better idea of what the role of the board is in the process. But I at least got when I couldn't get a hold of her over the phone, I sent her the email with the meetings next Wednesday to make sure you have this on the calendar.
If we don't have anything else, we've had a few minutes before we start the other one. Before we jump over there and before we wait, I do want to recognize like the community as a whole for the Bulls and Bronx event. We had people from almost every part of the county supporting it, like literally from Cannon Beach on to Napa. And the only reason I didn't have a couple places was I just thought about them last minute and I couldn't call. So, but for the most part, we had literally the entire county represented in all of the different places. So that's pretty cool to have, we talk about siloing different events and people and trying to make, all of these things, but that event truly was our entire community showing up and supporting it. So,
I second that. Thought, I should have mentioned it when we were talking about it earlier, but I went home and I told my husband, when I was scanning tickets, like we had like a huge demographic of people. I had people ask me where the bathrooms were, because clearly they haven't
Been here before, yeah.
And so like that was cool to see such a big demographic of people and people that have never even been here before, so that was. Yep, that was beautiful.
yep. So I just wanted to leave it with that before we move on, so. We've got about 10 minutes before the meeting starts, so if we want to take a break real quick and. Start back up at 6. we're gonna go for it. That is, so. All right. We are here for the Fair Board meeting, so. We're gonna go ahead and get started. We are gonna call the meeting to order. We're gonna do roll call. We've got everyone here. Agenda approval. Someone wanna approve the agenda? Anyone?
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda.
Perfect. We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Perfect, motion carries. All right, we will move to public comment. At this time, anyone wishing to address the Fair Board concerning items of interest on or off the agenda may do so. The person addressing the Fair Board will, when recognized, give their name and address for the record. All remarks will be addressed for the whole Fair Board and limited to 3 minutes per person. Fair Board members reserve the right to delay any action if required until such time when they are fully informed and the matter is scheduled as an agenda item. So I know we do have someone online that is gonna probably kick us off. Bill, are you there?
You gotta allow them to talk.
I'm here.
Awesome. All right, if you want to state your name and address, and then you've got 3 minutes.
My name is Bill Hampton, and I'm here to talk about doing a demolition derby on January 3rd.
Yeah, Bill, this is Kyle. If you could just kind of talk about,
Do we need his address?
Yeah, could you give us your address as well?
Address is 3910 Highway 101 North, Tillamook, Oregon, 97141.
Could you just give a high level what you have in mind and then try to address some of those comments I brought to you on the cleanup after the event?
Okay. Well, first off, we just started running the events here in Tillamook this year. We started off the Tillamook County Fair running just the demolition derbies. We did a couple different classes and they went super well. We followed that up with an event in September on the 6th. We did some UTV, figure eight racing, a couple of different couple different demolition derby classes, as well as a bunch of family events, bouncy houses. We had food vendors, drink vendors. We did a car show. Overall, pretty good event. We had about 600 or 700 people there on a 2-week notice, and it went super well. So that brings us to here. We are looking to do another event on January 3rd. You guys happen to have an indoor arena, which is super beneficial. Nobody else really has that option besides the state fair. It would be the same events that we did on September 6th, which would start off with side-by-side figure eight races. We'd go into a compact demolition derby, and then we'd go into a full-size demolition derby main event. We would have vendors as well. We would use the vendors that you guys have available. We'd probably bring in a couple additional ones as far as food and stuff. The concerns that I've seen on Kyle and I talked about was cleanup. I've been a part of the demolition derby here for over 20 years, and we've all kind of helped clean up that. This year I took it over myself, and essentially a crew and we just made sure that the arena was pretty hard packed in the beginning so that nothing could dig in too deep. We did our events, everything else. We do a walkthrough afterwards, pick up any debris we can see visually, and then the fair board will come in, the fair, whoever's working at the fair, they come in and they actually do additional cleanup throughout the year. They scrape it all, drag it all, and they have magnets that they use. And then we also go through after the event with metal detectors and just make sure that there's no metal debris in there whatsoever that could cut anybody or any animals, anything like that. As far as fluids go, it's water only. They don't get to run any antifreeze or coolant in any of the demolition cars. There is engine oil and transmission fluid, of course. And for that stuff, in the event of a spill, we basically take some absorbent. We put it on the areas that get contaminated, and then we'll let it sit for a little while we're doing our walkthrough, and then we'll go through and we'll actually dig up that section. We'll take some 5-gallon buckets or a wheelbarrow, we'll dig them up and just remove anything that's contaminated. We haven't had any issues so far ever at the Tillamook County Fair with horses or any other sort of events that have went on there. We haven't had any issues with debris doing it this way. So that's the basic rundown, and I'm happy to hear if anybody has any input or any questions.
Thanks, Bill.
Is it on, your staffing time to get the arena ready, or do they bring in equipment to roll it and then bring it back?
They'll bring in equipment to do whatever work they need to do. We would probably roll it since we'll have the roller here. But anything else they would do.
Yeah, we'd be responsible for everything. Our fair board lets us use the water truck that they have, but we are basically responsible for everything else. We don't use the fair for anything. We do all the prep, all the cleanup, all the setup. We cover it all.
I just add, I reached out to the other fair managers. Two of them got back to me, Yamhill County and Klamath County, both said they've been great attended events and that they've been able to clean it up and they haven't had any issues with debris afterwards.
Is this an event that's open to like the residents of our county to attend or to compete in, or is it attendance only? Like, is it closed where you supply the competitors?
It's wide open. Anybody can enter. Basically, you just have to follow the rules. I would send you guys rules to put up on your website as well as I would share them, but it's open to anybody.
What's the I don't know anything about it really. Is there like a age restriction or?
Yeah, it's 16 and over. 16 to 18 have to have parent consent. It's all fully insured and covered. Yeah, but we just basically have different classes and we have rules for each one of those classes and some safety stuff, obviously. And that's just, we'll do tech inspections, we'll have drivers meetings and go over everything. Etiquette, clean up, being responsible for your crew, all that stuff. So.
Great, Bill. That was really helpful for you to come and talk to us about what you have in mind, and I will follow up with you here in the next couple of days.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I just want to add too, I did put a post up on the Astoria community page on Facebook. I've had an overwhelming amount of residents from up there reach out to me as far as sponsorship, volunteers, and just overall being interested in asking us to put this event on. So we're happy to do it if we can make it work with you guys, and I look forward to hearing more.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Awesome. Do we have any other public comment for today? For this moment? We do have two business agenda items, which is OSET and Astoria Senior Celebration. So that will be here in just a couple minutes. So there will come a moment for that. But if we don't have any other public comment per se for that, we will move on getting going for our calendar. Kyle?
We don't have anything with just being gone at convention and then gearing up for the rodeo. We didn't get the minutes done this time, so we'll bring those all to you next month.
Okay, perfect. So we will go over board member reports really quick. So start down. Okay, you want to go?
I think most of mine was focused on the conference, and then this, I think it was great that we all got together, for helping out on Saturday. It was fun. A lot of togetherness time.
I don't have anything else to add. I kind of mentioned it all when we were talking about the rodeo and convention.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I attended the demolition derby in Tillamook at their fair. And there was no seats and it was very exciting and the crowd loved it and it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. I like it.
I mean, I went to a convention, but I really focused on the volunteer part. And that was very eye-opening on how more effective we could probably.
And how much of a challenge it is.
Huge challenge, but I liked their approach. They're both.
Sounds like we got the head of the volunteer committee.
Perfect.
It was enlightening.
Awesome.
Yeah, I went to the convention and really enjoyed all 3 days. It was very enlightening. And then the rodeo, I haven't been to rodeo in 20 years. Those bulls were sure mean. That's all I got.
We had Lindsay, I was sitting here taking photos and I think she had another person with her.
Not just a person, he is like the top NPRA photographer.
Okay.
Like he's legit. So when that file comes out, there's gonna be some
There's some pretty good.
between the two of them, there are gonna be some really cool pictures.
They've shared some of them and tagged us, but there's one where this pole is basically
Yeah.
like flat up in the air, like this freaking high. It's a
Yeah.
pretty awesome picture.
Yep.
It doesn't even look real.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have anything. I know I kind of went over all of our stuff in the work session, but again, just super cool with the attendance that we had for the rodeo, as well as the sponsorships, just seeing literally the entire county be involved. So, we will move to your report.
Yeah, I think I'll kick off with Gail. I met with Gail and David this morning to kind of do a project kickoff meeting. And there's Gail. I don't know if you want to take the lead on your schedule, and then I can kind of piggyback off of that, but we basically laid out, what our staff will need to be doing and tried to identify when and where to get the board tied in, and I have provided them printouts of your schedule so that they have them in front of them.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you, Kyle. Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to speak here quickly at your meeting. As Kyle mentioned, held a project kickoff meeting just as a staff level today, just to go through logistics, look at a draft time frame, lay out some of the work that needs to be done coming up over the next couple of months, and then picking some initial meeting dates with your fair board where we can get some input from you and just get some direction from you. So very briefly, the schedule is a pretty aggressive schedule. We have our funding with the Fair Board right now, or with the county, or the Fair Board, the Fair Board, through June 30th of 2026. That's the end of our fiscal year. So we would be looking to finish the strategic plan and have that adopted by your board and the Board of Commissioners by the end of June of 2026. And that gets it out of your pathway as you're heading into the main bulk of your fair work, and that way you don't have to have that on your plates as well. So we're trying to be thoughtful about and mindful of your time, but also pretty aggressive in our scheduling. Kyle, I don't know if you have given them a slide, but if I can share my screen here just briefly somewhere. Aha.
They do have it in front of
Oh,
them.
okay. Well, I'll share it with the people at the in the meeting live as well. So, Kyle and I and David this morning talked about some input that we would really like to have from your fair board at your January 6th meeting, but we wanted to give you plenty of time to think about it, so that you're not rushed into making decisions. And so there's 5 items that we really need your direction from on January 6th so that we can keep the plan moving forward and on schedule. So the first item is we want you to think about other fairgrounds, whether they're in the state or maybe out of state, that you feel would be good comparisons for us to look at and look at their operations. So we are looking to survey up to 10 different fairgrounds. So we would want that information from you on January 6th. The second thing is to think about other venues in the area that are competing for some of your other events, whether that's weddings or quinceañeras or other types of kind of more social party type events, and what are the places that you're competing with, whether it's, a Grange or the loft at the Red Building, or maybe smaller conventions at the Seaside Convention Center. What are those venues that you feel you're competing with that we should be looking at and getting information on? The third thing that we would like for you to help us with is to identify those groups or maybe individual stakeholders that we should be interviewing as part of this process, so that we could get those interviews set up in the early spring of next year and have those completed hopefully by the end of April of 2026. The fourth thing that we're looking for is a list of 5-year, 10-year, and 20-year capital improvement projects that the fairgrounds needs to complete to remain competitive, or to take care of deferred maintenance, or to just, something that you've had on your list of things to do, and now we can start putting it into some sort of schedule. And then the last thing that we would like you to think about is Are there any specific questions you want us to ask those peer fairgrounds or those competing venues, things that you really want to have us focus on, because these are things that are important to you and to the fairground operations? So that's our requested homework assignment for your board. Hopefully you choose to accept the mission. But again, we've given you a couple of months to think about these things, and you've got the list of 5 things there. So I'm here to answer any questions you might have. So thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Gil.
so a couple of thoughts I have. One, Gail and myself and David will do a walkthrough of the fairgrounds on Monday and kind of get them the lay of the land. I think it would be valuable if either in groups of you all or individually, if you wanted to come out, I could do a walkthrough with each of you guys as well, and we could brainstorm projects or lists sometime between now and January. And just be looking at deferred maintenance, future ideas for future projects and try to build that list of things. And so, and then the rest of this month, kind of we finished task 1, which was kind of the pre-project stuff. The rest of this month, we'll be working on kind of collecting information for Gail's team. Just going through some of our records and seeing if there's anything that we're even unaware of that we have at this point, because we haven't really gone through a lot of some of the older boxes of items and review the files that we have. And then they'll spend December kind of analyzing those types of things and rolling into January with these stakeholder type of surveys and engagement and research.
Oh, I have a question, Gail. When you talked about the 5, 10, and 20-year capital improvements, it kind of sounded like it was more of here what we have structurally, how do we keep it healthy? Are you gonna have like a brainstorming session with the board to take that opportunity to kind of look outside the box? Any one of those different types of methods to collect, far-reaching ideas, like as we look at it from a strategic perspective, instead of making sure that we're not just being very tactical, like we have to make sure this building stays healthy, but looking at it from a broader picture, saying in the next 20 years, is there gonna be a significant change? Tear down this building and build a different one, I'm just throwing ideas out, not saying those are things we're doing. I'm just wondering if we're gonna have a session like that where collectively we can kind of build off other ideas as part of a strategic view.
So I'll defer to Kyle for the timing, but I think what we had envisioned was having a lot of that conversation at your January 6th meeting. If you feel that it might be more productive, maybe as part of a work session to do that kind of brainstorming activity, that might actually be a better option perhaps for your fair board. So I'm really looking for your guidance and direction as to how you would like to structure the input sessions that we're going to be going through over the next 6, 7, 8 months. So, and I'm here to be flexible with your schedules and your needs.
I've done strategic planning. They're just making sure that that we're not, providing a list and then going from that, but having an opportunity to kind of share ideas, because people build ideas off each other, right?
Yep.
And so that's kind of where I think that's a great idea to use the January work sessions time to maybe work through that, where everybody come with their ideas, but keep their mind open and using it as a brainstorming session.
Yeah, and I think some other concepts will come out of the stakeholder meetings as well, which will happen after we get like this preliminary list going. Yeah, and looking at other facilities and what, trying to get some ideas
Something like Washington County.
from some of the other places.
But sometimes that's a good idea to start with, like, just weigh out their ideas. And just to think about where it could be, and maybe it'd be more than 20 years. And then you gotta get realistic, so we understand that, but try not to limit ourselves when you're doing this.
Yeah, so if you guys want to have another work session in December sometime and just talk about getting ready for that, or if you want to wait till the January 6th meeting and have that discussion, we can do it either way.
I think we're in more than an hour.
Yeah.
The work session.
And then I think you really need to, walk the grounds and go around with a notepad and make some notes and get some ideas going as well.
Okay. Great, thanks. Thank you, Gail.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd say she's intending to participate in, all of our meetings, basically from now until this project's over, to have a check-in. I'll be meeting with her every other week, and we'll be doing check-ins and status checks with each other. And we'll keep you guys all updated and keep bringing you all in. I think this was kind of the first step, give us this first month to collect some stuff, another month for them to digest it, and then dive into the stuff we're asking for you guys' input on those pieces. Yeah, so as far as other reports from me, we've been busy with field maintenance. We've been busy with the roof. The roofers had pulled off. They came back out last week and brought some more equipment. They were trying to work on Friday, but we were like, Friday's a bad day. They're meant to be out this week. They just have the trim on this edge and the gutters on those two buildings. They have the piece of equipment re-delivered, so they're supposed to be here this week, wrapping it up. They think it'll only take them another day or two to finish what they need to have done. We'll have to be doing some of the prep work for this flat track race, and then there's several holidays this month, so we'll have to figure out our work plan for that. As we get to where we're not necessarily in the slow season because we have a bunch of events that are coming up. We're going to be just working on some reorganization on how we've got some stuff laid out around here, reorganizing the shop, reorganizing our maintenance area, trying to look at some of the interior things that need to be spruced up, painting and dusting and things like that. So those are kind of our game plan here for the next 2 months or so. Yeah, if any of you want to have a one-on-one, or if you want to come and do a walkthrough with me and start looking at project ideas, let me know and we'll get it on the schedule.
With the convention on here, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, I know.
about that, or-
I know I mentioned it in the lead up about scheduling. I am very interested in going to this. 4 days of programming, and they're covering a lot of really great topics. You're bringing new visitors, sponsorships, fair managers meetings with fair managers from all over the country. I mean, it's got a lot of valuable stuff. I think it would be great for me to be able to attend, and it's probably not going to be as easy to get to for several years after this next year. And I can share with you guys the agenda for that. If there's anything that you think is particularly interesting that you think I should participate in, let me know, and I'll try to bring back some takeaways from those.
I think you should go to that.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Okay. If that is all, we'll move into our business agenda. First on the business agenda is OSET. You guys want to come on up? Thank you, Courtney. Thank you. I said it before you guys got here in our work session, but thank you guys very much for the cleanup that you did at the rodeo. It was a lot of time saving on all of our people, so thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. Well, thank you for letting us help clean up the whole event, and I'm glad the kids were able to support it in multiple different ways, so thank you for putting it on. Yes. Thank you guys for letting us come speak today. We are the Astoria Seaside Warrenton Oregon High School equestrian team. I am the coach, Barry James. Sorry, I pressed it. No, you're correct. You have it. And I have with me today some of my athletes as well as their parents, and we are going to kind of ask for the arena as far as in trade. We would love to be able to help volunteer in more ways, as far as like cleaning up events like we did this last weekend. So I have some girls that are gonna kind of share their ideas. Right.
Yeah, my name is Reagan Hartnett. I'm a junior at Seaside High School. This is my second year doing OSAT. We wanted to come and ask you guys for use of the indoor arena to host our equestrian practices. We're looking at practicing 2 to 3 times a month from 5 to 8:30, and that includes setup and tear down. And we're asking you guys to be able to use it for your troubleshooting.
My name is Brian McCauley. I'm a junior at Astoria High School, and this is my second year at OSET. OSET, this high school program is not funded by the state of high schools. You rely on donations, and we're requesting the fair board to waive or donate rental costs to support them.
Yeah. So my role here is an advisor liaison with the schools, since we have 3 schools, we have an advisor for each of the schools. And so I'm that role for Astoria. And so something I think that came up last year, the last 3 years, we've had this partnership with the Fair Board, and last year, I don't know if you're aware, but some of the events range from performance events like English writing with jumping to Western writing, showmanship, and then there's gaming events, so like time speed events like the barrels and poles and figure 8, and then some cow events as well. And so as part of their practice this last year, we needed to set up the jumps, and that was a great opportunity to work with the fair management and schedule that. And I think that became kind of a partnership between the fairgrounds and OSET in a way that we were able to give back, because we were able to set those up and then leave them up. And so like I just volunteered my time then to come in and kind of set up an open ride day. I think one of them was when the fairgrounds was closed, but other times the fairgrounds was open. And so we did have people come from Rainier, Vernonia, down to Cannon Beach. And so I think we had some good turnout. So I think there's just some benefit, you know, at least the partner, and our kids volunteer with Rascal Rodeo and also participate in a lot of 4-H and FA activities here at the fairgrounds and helping and volunteering as well. So anyway, just wanted to share that. So that's something going into this next year, like I'd be willing to set some of those things up if we, you know, we kind of coordinate times that there's nothing else going on at the fairgrounds, so it's not a conflict. And but yeah, I'd be willing to help with that again. Some of our trail course patterns set up, so gonna coordinate with those open ride guys, thank you. Great work. So just to draw more people in, and kind of heard back from people that they really enjoyed that and enjoyed being able to come and when the fairgrounds was open on those days to be able to divide and then they paid that overnight, so the fairgrounds got a better night.
That is all we have to share with you guys, and we would love to hear feedback and be willing to work with the management on scheduling those dates on a date that is most available to the fairgrounds. And we're pretty flexible as far as if 1 month it goes from Wednesdays to Thursdays or Tuesdays, any day. And obviously we know that the fairgrounds has limited availability, and so we're willing to work with whatever you guys are able to work with us.
And I know we do have some suggested dates that we will be looking at too for them, so.
Yeah, I think, just a couple of points, like typically what we would, so you know what you're giving, right? We would typically charge $10 per person for an open ride. I think this would fit more into that. So that's what you would be offering them, is basically $10 off for every person that comes in. I think we looked at it and it would have been like $600 for the full year, approximately about what the value is. Though the really only expense or concern for us is that we've got to prep the footing. So we are prepping it once a week, typically for the open rides, once or twice a week. And so if there was additional times we had to do it, that's another cost to us. But I think generally they've been able to use it, you know, with those 2 groomings that we're already doing. The events that I know that we would want to work around for scheduling, you know, this demo derby that week would probably need to be prepared well in advance. The flat track event, that may be. That may end up being 2 weeks out because it's Thanksgiving week, so we're gonna have to do most of the work for that flat track the week before. And then the circus will be here over spring break again. And then the floor will be down in April, so we're talking about between now and April when the floor goes down.
So we just talked during the working session about the idea of removing that conversation about free and having volunteering. And I know they already do, so they probably already redid most of it. And I would imagine it, based on how generous you've been with your time, it may not even, it may be a moot point. And we could just kind of explain our proposed approach to switching to, instead of free, rather just acknowledge their contributions as payment.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we have it quite ready yet, but maybe that's what we plan for the following year.
Yeah.
And when we have that system in place.
And I think we
Maybe-
need to way to log that too, because
Yeah,
you think about the hours they put in for Rascal Rodeo as well, not just including this past weekend.
yeah, well, and the Rascal Rodeo piece is kind of even a higher level of volunteering, because not only are they giving their time, but they're also bringing horses.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it would be, I think it would be a wash, right? So it wasn't, it's the equivalent of free. So, I mean, think we have to be careful if we're, when the time comes to switch, not specifically to this, topic, but using these as the reason we're switching to that method. Where we have individuals that have contributed a tremendous amount of time, and in the past, we've given them free. We're doing the same thing, but we're just changing the dynamic, so it's not, they don't necessarily need to come to the board to request, free, they're just saying, this is how we would like to pay for our fees. So.
Do we have someone that is willing to make a motion, for tonight for them?
I move that we let these young adults ride in community service and paybacks and volunteer work. Any reason.
Okay, we have a second, all in favor? Aye. Okay, all opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, guys. Okay, we will, bring up next the Astoria Senior Celebration Committee. Hey, guys.
All right, so we're here from the high school. My name is Frank Gore. I am the 2026 class president for the seniors. Also a school board representative for our high school through our school board, and a captain of 2 sports. I'm Benjamin Murdoch. I'm a senior as well at Astoria High School. I was class president last year and year. I'm Joe Marm. Senior at Astoria High School. I'm captain of the football team. Our school division. My name is Adrian Bailey, and I'm a senior at Astoria High School. And we are here to ask for a reduction in the rental fee for our senior celebration. And this allows us to have less stress on fundraising, so we don't have to worry about meeting our financial goal as much. And this allows us to have more time to enjoy our senior year and not just spend weekends fundraising and be able to focus on academics and sport. To piggyback off what Quinn said, I know all 3 of us are very active in school activities to sports. I myself in football and now in wrestling. With this senior night celebration, I think it would be more beneficial for a reduction cost, as it will allow us to prepare for our futures and college or community colleges. And it will also allow us to, enjoy our senior year. I know I've made a vow to go to every activity I can. I have been pretty good on that. So that's what I'm saying, is the reduction cost will help us be more active in our senior community.
Yeah, so with the cost of everything, especially on things we're on, it's just making our senior celebration prices a lot higher than they were last year. It's kind trouble for us right now. And, nothing is. Will be just less parent involvement, so there's less strain on. Parents and students of school, so they can just show their small. Parents are like. Students are learning differences in their lives. Setting up the total cost will help us with those other senior needs, like just cost of graduation itself. Just everything goes and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we were coming here tonight to see if we could find a price range that was similar to last year. The more money that we can save would be better for us. We want to try to spend more money on the activities for our seniors for savings overnight. And we would also help us get like caterers and things like that from our local businesses. And feedback off of Trevor, like we said, the rest of the money would really help us go towards like graduation and things like that, and other needs and like some things like that. So appreciate any help with that.
And I'm Mike Murdoch. I'm the parent president of the senior celebration. I got nothing else to say.
What was the price last year? I know you said you wanted.
So last year's price was $850.
And you guys are using the exhibit hall, kitchen, and what else?
The arena.
The arena.
I think as well.
Okay. And is it the flooring that's down in there, or they're just
Flooring
the
is
arena?
down at that time.
Say it
It
again.
is down at that time.
Okay,
This kitchen is not really used, just to sort of. Like we had the pizza box discussed, but it wasn't really used last year.
okay. And then do you guys come in a day before, or is it just straight, just one day? You guys are,
Last year, we did come in the night before, because that generated last year,
okay, like all day, or like you came in, do you know what time, or?
few hours, yeah. I know, like Rum's had the vending machine that we use, so they delivered that out here.
Yeah.
Tried to deliver it when someone was here.
Yeah,
And then, yeah, some of the memory, it's more at the evening, I believe.
okay. And then clean up, do you guys come in
The next morning after.
the next morning? Okay,
It goes all night.
yes.
There was a bunch of parents last year that came and helped clean up, so it'd be similar.
Okay.
Having them help.
Similar to what we kind of talked about prior with like volunteering and trying to figure those costs and stuff. Is this like a committee, obviously, that you guys have for the senior group? Would there be, if we had an event that say we needed some volunteers at, would there be opportunity to reach out to someone directly to ask for that?
Yep.
Timeframe?
I can give you my contact information. I'm the president of it.
Okay.
But we have a whole committee with the vice president, treasurer, and secretary that we can kind of delegate children as well as ourselves.
Yeah. One thing I'm thinking is, that flooring that is down in the arena is, not always the most fun to put down. Being as you guys, I think apparently are all football, wrestling, all that, be a great volunteer opportunity to, assist with that. We are working on kind of rearranging our, pricing and our, kind of trying to delegate and make sure that we've got the volunteer time back into allowing, some reduced cost. And so I don't know what everyone else's thoughts are on that, but, I think, if we can have a contact that we could reach out, I don't know your feelings on that either, how it
Yeah,
works with
so
having more
it
people.
would be like 7 people for 2 days,
Say that again?
like 7 people for 2 days.
Are
For the discount.
That's the help we need. We typically
Yeah,
get job
that's the
corps
typical
students to come in.
Oh, yeah.
And we have like 7 students that come in, and it's one full day. And usually the second day is a partial day.
Okay.
But that would be something that could be a great thing to help us get done. It's uncertain what the situation with Job Corps is going to be for this
Yeah.
next coming year as well.
Yep.
And would you want that around the time of the event?
It's like the second or third week of April.
Okay.
So more of a reduction.
What was that?
That is, no, that is as a reduction, because, that way it's, a balance, right? Because there's everybody, there's a lot of requests for assistance. So that is, to offset, to give you the reduction for volunteer hours, to equal the reduction.
So I think to come back to this, let's make that, I think, a little bit more clear, because we really don't have that in place right now, right? That's kind of the direction we're hoping to go for. It's not set in stone right now that that's what we're doing. And so ideally, like, I'm gonna bring the example back to OSET, right? They had hours logged, within our year that begins in June. They volunteered time frame in July, and they just volunteered time frame on Saturday. Now, that's moving forward. Obviously, you guys are graduating and kind of gonna step out, but there are gonna be other people that kind of hear and understand maybe what that will look like moving forward. As for this year, I don't think that we can really like say that we're gonna say this many hours, it's gonna be this much off, and this is gonna be how it is. And so I don't know how everyone else feels. I feel that if we were to, say, keep the same price as last year, and then ask for your guys' help in moving forward with that flooring would be beneficial to both groups. If you guys are asking for that $850, I think that that's still,
And so just for reference, in 2024, we charged them $1,700, so that was a 50% discount. In 2025, we only charged them $850. I don't know what the percentage is, but that amounts to a $2,550 discount.
So last year, it was, no,
A $2,550 discount.
So I thought last year was $850, then the year before that it was $750.
yeah,
That's
what it said, yeah.
So 20
Okay, I heard you say it backwards, sorry.
So 2025, 850.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
and
So-
the other question I have is, do we have potential to utilize the space, for that Friday night? Potentially, which we would have to give up since they're setting up.
It is a very sought after date.
Right.
I would say that. I have no doubt that somebody would want to do an event on Friday night.
Right.
if it was available.
And since the event doesn't happen until the evening, and I realize it's graduation day, so I realize that's not as convenient to the parents, but given the fact that, you would potentially be getting two nights, we ideally get it back so that the Friday night is open for reservations, and I recognize if you have something to be dropped off, I'm sure that can be put somewhere. But having it restricted to the Saturday,
The event
to
day.
Saturday night.
Well, then clean up Sunday morning.
Pardon me?
Usually clean up Sunday
No,
morning.
They're here till
Well, they're there,
Yeah.
yeah.
8 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
Right.
not Friday, night.
Yeah,
Can I
that's
ask,
that, Sunday.
because I was here for last year's, initially there was gonna be somebody there Friday night, so we weren't gonna set up till Saturday, but then whoever's gonna be
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Friday night.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the only reason.
I see,
why we
okay,
did
yeah,
that
fair, yeah, that makes
Friday night.
sense.
So I think it's possible.
yeah, so I think we just say, if there is an event, then we would have to have you guys set up Saturday. But if there isn't, then
Yeah.
there's no reason you couldn't set up Friday. So, does anyone want to make a motion, feel ready to make a motion?
I move we, let the, Surrey High School have the, $850 rent. To save kids and let them have a good time and. Let's do it.
Makes sense. It's pretty in line with what we asked about trading volunteer work for. Well, I second it.
Okay, do we have, everyone in favor? Okay, any opposed? All right, motion carries, and then if we could just kind of touch base with you, get your information, and then when it comes time to lay that floor down, we'll touch base with you and kind of work on a date to make it make sense.
And do you have those dates by chance that you were,
I don't,
or will this be kind of?
yeah, we'll kind of have to probably work
I
it.
mean,
work
I
it
know
out.
it, but I'd have to get into my email to look it up. I can get
All
it
right,
for
I'll give
you.
you my contact information.
Perfect,
Thank you very much.
thank you guys for
Thank
your
you.
time. Okay, we will move on now. That was everything on the events agenda. Do we have anything for the finance report?
I did print you guys off a larger copy of it. If you have any questions, let me know.
Hey, Barry, before you leave, sorry, I know I'm in the middle of all this. Can I have Dave start bringing the kids to the barn and help about you? Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's, if you guys have any questions, what I did discover was that the report I gave you last month, the way, because when I got it from him, the way our meeting was later in the month, or October it would have been, when he sent me the report, it actually was through September, so this is the same report you saw last week.
Okay.
Last month, typically I get the prior month, but since it was, say he had an extra day there, he was able to give me through. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For your time.
Thank you. Okay,
And this isn't really reflective of the expenses from the Bulls and Bronx.
Yeah.
So the next one will.
okay. Do we have anything else? Anything for the good of the order? Good. Cover all of that. Okay,
No, I think that's a good meeting.
okay,
That's it.
yeah,
Very productive.
yeah,
I'm excited for things to come.
Yeah.
School for Bronx. I like the new tradition and.
yes. This,
He's done both.
yeah,
There's a lot of people. who
yeah,
are
that it
passionate
would
about
be,
that in this
it would be
community.
good.
That
So
would be
I
really
do have a question on that. Why did we have to have him come present, but not the flat track?
I asked him to come and present mostly because I know that it has the potential to be a controversial issue with the cleanup and the debris.
I have concerns about it. Also.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I definitely,
Yeah, the flat track, it's not as, we're just rolling the floor. There's
Yeah.
nothing that's gonna be happening in there. It's just hard and then,
Yeah.
and then back up again. I mean, even the monster truck, that's not
I-
worried about it with the monster truck either, but
you've got the chamber coming in and there's beer bottles, so,
yeah.
Glass.
yeah, that's what I meant.
And I think knowing now that he wants it hard packed,
Yeah,
it makes a massive difference. If
Yeah.
they had wanted it softer so that they don't have as much traction, so
Yeah.
they can't do as much, like, that's what I initially thought.
Right.
I'm not thinking. That then it's gonna be all fluffy and it's
Yeah.
like the ability for stuff.
They
to
have to
go.
have a hard pack.
Yeah.
yeah,
Have to.
Yeah.
And one of the things he talked about, when I talked to him on the phone earlier today, he was intending to come out, and I was gonna talk with him about, what he had in mind, but just to alleviate my concerns, but maybe taking some of the looser material off, so getting 4 or 5 inches.
Yeah.
Then pack it, then we fluff that back up, and then he.
Yeah,
puts
I
that
was
back
gonna
on.
add
I like
that.
that.
And then we kind of have like a cap on top
Yeah.
of anything that might be down in there. Granted, it all gets worked out, rocks
Right.
up in that whole freaking time.
Was a good idea.
Are we?
I think we'll learn, I mean,
Give it the order.
if it comes through and it ends up being something that's a nightmare for us, we don't do it again, but I think it's worth trying. I talked with Kami at Tillamook. She said not for their demolition derby, but when they resurfaced their whole track, they had a lot of rocks in the track and they worked with a hazelnut farmer because they shake the trees and they have to
Yeah,
pick
they
all
have
the
this-
stuff up. So the dirt under the hazel trees always has to be like
yeah,
nothing in it because they're sifting through the dirt. And so they've been able to work with it. I just don't want that to be an expense that we have to take on.
Yeah.
If something like this were to happen, but it is a good thing to think about if we have issues with debris in our footing in the future.
yeah, that is.
Seasonal farmer, we can tag team with Tillamook and Columbia County and have them come do.
I mean, that's not a bad idea just in general.
And how
If-
much does
if-
this machine cost?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not cheap, but I doubt it's terribly expensive either.
Hazelnuts, booming business.
Yeah.
People are no longer blueberry farmers.
It's the number one crop in the state.
Perfect. Okay, cool. I feel like I had one other thing that I was gonna say, and I got on that topic, but I don't think it obviously matters that much, so.
I do have one more other thing to say, and I know I was thinking about it after we talked about Fair Thing, but next year is the 250th anniversary of the country. And so it could be another thing to be kind of thinking about as we're putting our fair on. And just celebrating some of that history. The Oregon Historic Society did a presentation at the closing session of the convention, and they said they have like traveling exhibitions. It's just, will it be available our week? I know I was sitting at the table with the Washington County manager, and she's like pulling out her phone and making notes, so she'll probably tie that up for the week of our fair. But it's worth reaching out to them and seeing what they have. It sounded like they were putting things together for traveling educational pieces. Like, it's something to be thinking about as we put the fair on.
PFW in Salem has got very big collection of antique uniforms that they put on for the state fair.
Yeah,
And they travel to that also.
they do have
I
that.
think,
Yeah.
I'd like to see if we could involve veterans, the veteran organizations, maybe.
Yeah, we have not had the veterans here since I've been here. I don't know if they participated in the fair in the past. But with the anticipated increased attendance, it may be something that they'd be interested in doing.
I'll talk to I know the
Bert?
no, the one in Warrington.
Bert
Little?
Bert, yeah,
Bert Little,
No,
Debbie.
I'm not in either group, but I know the guys, people down in Seaside also. Yeah, the American Legion.
Well, and I know they're looking for fundraising opportunities often too, so if there's something that we can think of that they might be interested in.
The problem you got is those guys are old.
They are, they tend to be
Very,
something
very
that's not
few young guys.
terribly heavily taxing on their bodies.
Yeah.
Okay, that was all I had.
Perfect. Meeting adjourned.